They recently announced a rematch between Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje at UFC 291. Their first fight was very competitive and the fight of the year. If Gaethje can win this fight, he will be the next title challenger after the winner of Oliveira-Dariush fight. I think that Islam can defend his title, and then he will make his third defense of the belt against Justin Gaethje. Hello fighters! This is the World of MMA channel with you. In this video I will give a prediction on a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Justin Gaethje. But before we start the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give me a like. Here we go. American Justin Gaethje fought twice for the title but lost both times. The first time he lost to undefeated Khabib Nurmagomedov. Although he won the first round, in the second round he was caught on submission. Then a year later he returned to the octagon at UFC 268 against American Michael Chandler. In a rather close fight, he wins by decision, thus becoming the next title challenger. At this point, the belt was held by the Brazilian Charles Oliveira, who recently defended the belt against Dustin Poirier. Charles fails the weigh-in, and only for Justin the fight becomes a title fight. All he had to do was win, and win the long-awaited belt. However, in the first round, he misses a hard punch from Oliveira, after which he gives up and surrender. Anyone in his shoes would have lost the confidence to try and win the belt all over again. However, after this defeat, Justin returns to the octagon and defeats the bright prospect Rafael Fiziev, and now a rematch awaits him against Poirier. In case of victory, he will be the next contender for the title and will face the champion Islam. And now we're going to take a look at this fight. Will Justin finally become champion? Or will Islam defend the belt once again and leave? Let's go. And as usual, we'll start our analysis with the striking, and the first one we have is Makhachev. Islam, as you all know very well, is a fighter of elite level. Of course, he is going to improve. Compare his striking in his first fights and in his present fights, you will see a huge difference. He's now quietly competing on the hands of former number 1 pound-for-pound Alex Volkanovski. Who even expected Islam to put up such a serious fight against the Aussie? He even managed to send Alex to cover a couple of times. So it's not a good idea to underestimate Islam's striking technique. Next up we have Justin Gaethje, who surprised a lot of people last fight, including me, with his striking technique and most importantly his mindset. He didn't chop like he did in his past fights. He was a good second stringer, like he was in his fight against Tony Ferguson. As soon as Fiziev came at him with an attack, the American immediately met him with a good counter, thereby scoring points. That's the kind of guy Gaethje needs in a fight against Islam Makhachev, who will be thinking with his head how to hit the champ, instead of going with an open forehead to attack. That kind of Justin could easily take the belt of the strongest league in the world, or at least come close. But that's where I think it's going to depend on the mindset of the highlighter. If he gets into an unnecessary fight, even his coach can't stop him, he will, and eventually Islam will be able to meet him with a good counter strike. Because of his good striking technique, I think Justin will be the favorite. He works well with his forehand, throwing jabs and counter attacks. Moving on to wrestling, Justin Gaethje. Justin has a good defense against takedowns. Let's look back at the fight against Chandler. The American also tried to move Justin, but he wouldn't let him. And if he did, he was back on his feet in no time. Justin never had a problem defending himself. No one was able to transfer him properly and control him for the whole round. Even Khabib didn't transfer the first time. Now we get to Islam's wrestling, who has been learning the sport since he was a child, and it has paid off, as we see. Thanks to his wrestling skills, Islam was able to take out a fighter who was seen as a threat to him until this moment. Yes, I mean the Charles Oliveira fight, when Islam was throwing the Brazilian as much as he wanted. If anyone thought that was a fluke, then watch the confrontation with Alex. Makhachev, in that fight, was also able to hold the Aussie without any tension. He did not manage to kill him or wear him down, but his control deserves a special praise. A lot of people say that Oliveira, Volkanovski or anyone else will give Makhachev problems, But as we see it, these are people who don't understand anything about mixed martial arts. In this aspect, I will choose Islam Makhachev as the favorite to a great advantage. Because Gaethje has big gaps in the parterre. He's choked by both Khabib and Oliveira. Islam will be all the more challenging. Now let's move on to the cardio of the fighters, where Gaethje showed us all the beauty of the last fight without getting cut, without going into unnecessary exchanges for him. He can work all 3 rounds with ease, and we saw in the fight against Tony that if Justin works his head off, he can go all 5 rounds with ease. But we don't know how he's going to be against Islam. Moving on to Islam Makhachev's cardio. Islam showed in his last fight that he can go all 5 rounds at high tempo. Not without difficulty, but he can. But I'll pick the favorite Justin. He went through much more 5-round fights than Makhachev and did not get tired in the championship rounds. As for the spirit, I'll give more credit to Makhachev, who will always go to victory. In this fight, I think Islam Makhachev will take the win easily. He is far superior to Gaethje in terms of wrestling and will sub for 2-3 rounds. Maybe Gaethje will defend against takedowns for the first 2 rounds, but after the pressure from Islam, like in the fight with Khabib, he will get tired and miss takedowns, where he will get caught in a choke hold. The video. Write your opinions in the comments on who will win this fight. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and give me a like. See you all soon.